Hi. It occurred to me after Walter's Concerns went live that if I'm going to do this project of recording all my acoustic songs from over the years and putting them up, and I'm playing with my dog while also talking to you guys, well, my kid's dog technically, it's I could also put up some videos talking about the music theory or the songwriting techniques behind all those songs. It's just throwing the dog Valley, is her name, her rope to chew on. So I said that Walter's Concerns was non-diatonic. Diatonic is old. We get it, French word that we get via Latin, via Greek, and it kind of means spread out, as in the notes are spread out. So the opposite of chromatic. Chromatic, as in color, means every single note. That's C chromatic, from C to C. But if I play the diatonic scale, which is the arranged pattern that people figured out sounded good. Whoops, what am I doing? That's C major. So as you can see, there was gaps between the different notes. And then the diatonic chords are the natural chords are the chords that are formed by that scale when you play every other note, as in notes 1 and notes 3 and notes 5. That's if I gave them a number. They've got letter names, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And with that same pattern a long time ago, a guy named Guido wrote a little Latin phrase that eventually led to people using do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. I should sing, shouldn't I? Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. To name those notes as well. But if we use numbers, it makes it easier when you're talking about playing guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I play 1 and 3, 3 and 5, 5, that's the C major triad, 3 notes. And if you play those at the same time, C major chord. And if I play 2, 4 and 6, whoops, that's the 3 notes in the D minor triad. And then 3, 5 and 7 is E minor. And then 4, 6 and 8 is F. 5, 7 and 9 is G. 6, 8 and 10 is A minor. And then 7, 9 and 11 is B diminished. And then 8, 10 and 12 again is the next C. And so that's what I mean by the natural chords. That pattern sounded nice, they're naturally formed. But I didn't do that with Walter's Concerns. The reason I didn't do it is because I didn't know what I was doing. I learnt guitar from friends of my big sister, teaching me songs that they knew and that I liked. So I think, and there were songs that were way too complicated for me, so it took me a long time to learn them, but they were showing me when I would visit my sister, so they were musicians, I could sing all right, I wanted to learn how to play guitar. So in a way, Walter's Concerns is in the key of guitar. Rather than following the traditional natural chords, it follows chords that you might learn how to play on guitar. So I learned how to play a C, and I learned how to play an E. And I learned how to play an F, and an A minor. But I also learned how to play an A. So later on in that song, I use C to A. Which obviously, that's the intro to Proud Mary. I didn't steal Proud Mary, I just used those 2 chords. And the same, Hey Joe uses an E major instead of an E minor. If I was going to play C, 2, 3, 4, 5, you get that one, then 6. But E minor uses, there we go, 3 and 5, 3 and 5 there. But if I use, and there's 6. But if I use the flat 6, which is halfway between 5 and 6, that sounds a bit weird. That's the note I used in Walter's Concerns. Because I wanted it to sound a bit weird, I think. Because it was about being concerned. And also, I didn't know what I was doing. And that's an E augmented, and that's a E7. So I used a few chords that were different, not the kind of chords you'd think to use as a beginner, but because I was a beginner, you know, I made things more complicated than I needed to. And that actually works. It's a good way of doing things sometimes. Just listen to your ears, think about what story you're trying to tell. Because in my case, I was already writing lyrics, I was writing poems and stuff. So I already had the melody in my head, and then I had to figure out what chords kind of fit that melody. And so I made unusual decisions. And there's a history of this. If you look into like, what is it? Other bands famously who didn't know what they were doing when they started. Stone Roses, good example. They didn't know what they were doing when they started writing songs, and their songs are more complicated because of it. And the Beatles, heaps of interviews with Paul McCartney where he says, you know, the idea for a song was specifically based on learning a new chord off a friend or someone at the record shop, and then he wrote a song because he wanted to use that chord in it. Michelle's a good example of that, a few others. So yeah, if you're learning how to play music or learning how to write songs, you can follow the rules because the rules are cool, and the rules help you pick up new songs and learn them. Something I say to my students, I do teach some high school, I teach singing in high school, but one thing I say to them, particularly the older kids, the seniors, who have to do songwriting as a part of component of their course, is that writing songs is a bit like building Lego. When you first learning, you generally, when you're getting new Lego, you get a set and it has instructions, and you follow the instructions to build that set. And that's kind of like, you know, following the music as written to learn how to play the song. Once you've done that a bunch of times, you end up knowing a whole bunch of chords or scales or whatever, or rhythms. And that's kind of like having individual pieces of Lego in your box of Lego, your collection. Then you can take those pieces and put them together in different ways and make your own thing. I kind of did the opposite. I didn't have many pieces in my Lego set, and I used it to make, and it ended up making something strange. As I went on, my songs actually got more normal. But yeah, look, like I said, if I'm not going to make one of these chatty videos about every single song I put up, but if something in a song occurs to me that might be worth just quickly mentioning, I'm going to do that. So yeah, key guitar. And oh, what's my sign off going to be? Should I have a regular sign? Oh, boop. I love booping. Boop.